Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your fortnightly check-in with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon, and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon, or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, with that, these are purely tarot. There's no astrology in these, so watch them for whichever one feels right to you. So, for your cross purposes, we're doing the cross purposes at the beginning here from now on because I want to get some of the heavier stuff out of the way. Well, depending on whatever your reading contains. Um, all right, and so for this, you have the Magician card. So this is your card, right? At this point, we are, so on the day that I'm recording this, we are 10 days away from, no, we're 11 days away from your ruling planet, Mercury, the magician. The what do I like to call him? I call him the cosmic dancer because he's always going backwards and forwards, right? So in terms of cross purposes, there's a few ways that this will show up. The first one, on a personal level, be very mindful of what you say this over this next fortnight, especially things that you say in jest. And the reason I say this is you might say something, it's very possible that you might say something and it's either completely taken in the wrong way or it's misconstrued. And we're not even in Mercury retrograde yet, right? The reason I say this is because it is the magician and you are Mercury, right? Well, you're Mercury ruled anyway. And so, this really does for me suggest that something you say or the way that you say it or the way that it comes across is potentially causing a problem or an issue. Now, the other thing with this on a more sort of not global scale, but on a more sort of macrocosmic level, the magician card is powerful people. And so, look, it's not to say that like a powerful person wants to screw you over. It's not that at all. But look, this comes up with the Two of Swords. Um, there's a couple of ways that we could see this. One, I'm I can say this to you guys. I can say anything to Gemini's. There's a few signs that I know I can say anything to. There's other ones that there's always someone that wants to be offended. But, I can say this to you guys. If you are, and I know many Geminis are very intuitive. If you are very intuitive, be very mindful of cosmic snooping this fortnight. It's one of the things. I'm a real geek. I love comic books, X-Men, superheroes, all of that. Marvel. That's all a little bit of me. So I tend to use examples from that. Um, Charles Xavier, most powerful psychic on the planet, can invade literally any mind, anywhere, anytime. And he says, just because I can doesn't always mean that I should. Be very mindful of spiritual snooping over this next fortnight. All right. Especially because it's kind of like one of those things as well. Like if you don't want the answers, don't ask the questions. Right. Now, another way that this will show up, if you're not necessarily intuitive, or we all are to a degree, but if that's not sort of like your wheelhouse, another way that this may show up is something that you either deem to be really unfair or vice versa could come up for question. And so I just want you to be mindful about this because that Two of Swords as a cross purpose, this could be where something, it feels really, really personal. So just keep an eye out for that. For your actions and results, you've got the Chariot card, beautiful, with the Fool card, nice, and the Ace of Wands. I mean, look at that, right? Whatever new venture, avenue, or direction you're going in, it absolutely takes off. I mean, just look at that. Beautiful. Like, this is something that you've been working on, an idea, maybe a creative endeavor, potentially something that you've been doing a lot of writing on or around, maybe a public speech that you've been working on, like whatever it is, you are starting something over this next fortnight. Mercury retrograde be damned, eclipse be damned, like whatever you're going after, I gotta tell you, the results are phenomenal. It has a deeply creative feel to it. It's something that you really feel very emboldened and impassioned by. And to see this, like, just wow. Like, I'm loving this for you guys. I think it's brilliant. All right. So, for your career and communications, you've got the Death card, Seven of Pentacles, okay, and the Queen of Cups. So, Queen of Cups, usually a water sign woman, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, because she comes up next to the Death card. This is very likely to be a Scorpio woman. Whoever she is, this might be somebody that you've worked with or worked alongside. Another way that you could see this as well when it comes to the career is something that you have invested in quite heavily. Maybe it's gone nowhere and you say, you know what, time to cut the losses from this and go elsewhere or move on in a different direction. Whatever it is, I feel like when it comes to the career or the profession, this is a moment of pure honesty, which is a great thing. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, if you have had parental financial support, I'm sorry to say, but it looks like that's about to come to an end. If this is, let's say, it's financial support that you've been getting as a bursary or what do they call them? Like a grant of some sort. This may be where that funding is relieved from you. I'm really sorry to say, but it is the death card. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could literally be somebody that has been with your company or on your team or your boss, etc. Somebody that you've worked with for a long time could suddenly announce that they're leaving. And you might be really surprised at who it is. Like in every company, like you've got people that are like furniture, like they're just going to be there for life. This could be one of those people that is like such a regular fixture, maybe somebody that you've really looked up to or leaned on in the past, could suddenly announce that they're leaving. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, I really like this for you guys getting clear on maybe who or what you're going to work with, professionally moving forward. So it could be that maybe you say now, okay, you know what, I think this professional connection has probably seen its sell by date. Maybe you're redefining the kind of work that you do with a person that you employ or a client. And then finally, when it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, this could be, it's really weird because I get the feeling that a lot of you have been volunteering on something and that post, position, or opportunity could be coming to a close now, and it suddenly leaves you with a lot more time. For your love and relations, you've got the Page of Wands, nice, with the Tower card, okay, and the Eight of Pentacles, right? So for those of you that are, in fact, if you're in that working sphere in any way, which many of you are, it looks like potentially someone kind of says to you, maybe someone strikes up some flirty banter through work and you're like really surprised. Maybe you have like you have a moment, you're like, is this person flat? And obviously, being on my team, it's even more so, like, because you never want to offend a guy or, like, it's just like, oh, sorry, I thought we were having a moment. And it's like, dude, I've got a wife and 3 kids. You're like, okay, ground, open up and swallow me whole, please. It's happened. He didn't, he wasn't actually married, but it was a whole thing. One day I'll tell you that story. It was very funny now that I can look back at it and laugh, but at the time I literally wanted the ground to open up and swallow me whole. Um, Anyway, so yeah, this could be, a shock that comes through work where you're like, oh my gosh, okay, my supervisor just told me that they want to take me out on a date. It could be something along those lines. Whatever it is, it could be a bit disruptive. You might not really expect it, and maybe it gives you like a little bit of an uncomfortable feel at the start, but then it kind of gets better. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this is potentially, and I'm sorry to say, this could potentially be some hard news around a partner's job and or work. It doesn't have to be that they're losing the job, although for some people that may well be the case. It could be that they get some new job or some new responsibility. And when it comes in, maybe they say, look, I'm going to be working 12-hour shifts from now on. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's not like the worst, but at the same time, it's likely to be that because of their work, some dynamic in the relationship is going to shift. For your double hit of that magician card energy for your money and materials, this could be very good for manifesting money. You've got the Three of Pentacles, especially if there's centers around learning. Look at that. I mean, wow. Whatever you're launching, whatever you're creating, whatever you're putting out into the world, it's just fantastic. Look at this, right? There's a big boost coming to the finances over this next fortnight. And it's probably in response to or in relation to some kind of learning, gathering of new skills, new knowledge, new information that's coming in for you. So I'm totally here for this. I mean, your money looks great and it looks like your manifesting abilities are on point. Get in. The other thing with that Three of Pentacles, this is you hitting the ground running with something that you're putting out, not something that you're putting out to the world, but this is you hitting the ground. It's like you're taking, when you learn something new. So, as an example, I recently took a numerology course. I've been studying numerology for a long time, but it was fantastic. And a lot of the stuff that I took from that, I'm now already incorporating in my work and loving the results that I'm getting from it, right? And this could be you doing something similar to that. It's like you're taking the knowledge that you're gaining or that you've gained recently and you're putting it straight into action for you. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is great news that comes in potentially from a specialist. So if you've had tests or anything like that, this could be some really great news that really makes you very happy moving forward. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, I like this for not necessarily a new addition in terms of a pregnancy, although for some of you that's possible. But I really like this for something that you're bringing into the home or initiating in the home that really just brightens up the energy. All right, like I love this. I just think what a fortnight you guys have on the horizon, even with some of the challenges that have come up. This is really nice. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic fortnight. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.